Hi everyone, starting in this video, I will talk about a list of special random variable distributions. And in this video, we'll start by talking about the Bernoulli random variable. Bernoulli random variable. Okay, so for Bernoulli random variable, or to talk about Bernoulli random variable, we should first talk about the three properties of Bernoulli. So three properties. The first one is we have two outcomes. So Bernoulli random variable is special because it only has two outcomes. We call it success or failure. Okay, success or failure. Only two outcomes. And then we'll have the probability of success, or the success probability. Success probability. And we denote as P, which means that what is the probability that you will get a success. The third property is the trials are independent. Okay, so each trial is not going to affect the previous one, nor the one after the trials. Let me give you an example. Coin toss. Okay. In the example of coin toss, does it satisfy those three properties? Check one. We can say, let's say getting a head is a success. Therefore, getting a tail will be a failure. So in this case, we have two possible outcomes, head or tail, or in the words here, success or failure. So we can get, say, success is getting a head, and failure is getting a tail, right? Two possible outcomes. And then what's the probability to get a success, or where's the probability to get a head? So probability equals to 1/2 to get a head, right? It's 1/2 and 1/2 if your coin is a fair coin. Third, coin toss are independent, right? Random, because if you toss a coin, you finish the try and you do it again, they're just totally independent from the previous one and the one after. So a coin toss is a good example of a Bernoulli random variable. Now we're going to learn some parameters of the Bernoulli random variable. So when we calculate or do calculation of Bernoulli random variable, we denote success to be 1, right? So 1 means that you get a success, and then failure you denote it with a 0. So 0 means that you get a failure outcome. Let's say for the coin toss case, right? So again, we have two possible values, 1 or 0, and then in the coin toss case, let's denote t to be a random variable, and the random variable is from the distribution of coin tosses. And then using this notation here, then t equals to 1 means you get a success, and in our example, it's getting a head here. And then t equals to 0 is getting a failure, which is getting a tail here. Okay? Sounds good. And let's see let's get the parameters of Bernoulli random variable. Okay. Parameters of Bernoulli. Okay, parameters of Bernoulli random variable. Before we list out the parameters, one thing I do want to mention is that when we talk about Bernoulli random variable, we're talking about only one trial, right? So we toss the coin once, we get the outcome once, right? So everything here is just doing once. What's the probability of getting it to be a head, or what's the probability of it getting a tail, right? So it's doing once. So Bernoulli here, we're doing only one trial. Only one trial. Okay, only doing one trial. So what are the parameters of Bernoulli? First is we want to get the mean. Right? Mean or expected value. So expected value of a Bernoulli distribution is equals to just the probability of getting success, right? Because it's just one trial, you know, and then the probability of getting the outcome of Bernoulli is the success, which is equal to 1 times the probability plus 0 times the probability of getting failure. Then the outcome is 1 times p, right? Okay, so this, let's say just 1 times p plus 0 times 1 minus p. Okay, and in the case of a coin toss, expected value of a coin toss equals to 1/2, right? Just equals to p here. Next. Next, let's talk about variance of Bernoulli. Variance of Bernoulli equals to the probability of getting a success times the probability of getting a failure. Okay, in the case of the coin toss, the variance of coin toss equals to 1/2. Probability of getting success times 1 minus 1/2. The probability of getting a failure, and that's equals to 1/2 times 1/2 equals to 1/4. Okay, let me box in the formulas. So this is the one you want for mean, and this is the one you want for variance. Next, standard deviation. Right, standard deviation of your Bernoulli is just the square root of p 1 minus p, right? It's just taking the square root of the variance, and in our case, the standard deviation of the coin toss just equals to 1/4 square root equals to 1/2. Okay, so now we got the formulas for mean, variance, and standard deviation. Again, in the Bernoulli, we are only doing one trial, so we only get the outcome once. Okay, this video concludes the concept of Bernoulli random variables. In the next video, we're going to talk about binomial, which is the case that you have more than one trial. You have many trials. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.